Welcome back to Rainey Dewey's Art Spot. This video is a follow-up to my previous video. This is a video that focuses on doing a color study in preparation for a final painting of this little winter landscape. You see the value sketch above. I think the values are interesting, so I'm moving forward and trying to nail down the colors that I'll be using when I tackle the final painting. You'll see that I do a quick sketch of the image above. I'm not paying a ton of attention to perspective, just giving placement, and I'm beginning to take notes. In the sky, the notes are off a little bit, skewed off to the left, but for the sky I used cobalt and mixed with a little bit of Windsor green shade, sort of a phthalo type color. I don't know that it was necessary to use it, but anyway, I popped it in, why not? And here I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do these. There are some little wispy clouds coming in from the left, and I really liked it, so I'm going to try to do that in the final painting. So you see me here trying to kind of figure out what kind of a technique I'm going to use. I'm tilting the paper, I'm dropping in water, then tilting the paper. I'm blotting, and then I'm adding a darker value around the parts of the whites that I want to remain white for the clouds. So I'm kind of practicing the technique I'll use to do those wispy clouds. So at least I have some idea now how I'm going to approach it. If I had gone cold right into the painting, trying to figure it out, I wouldn't have a clue. And here we are. I am preparing my famous mixture. I'm sure I learned it from somebody else in one of my art books. I love to do distant trees in this combo. It's alizarin crimson, ultramarine blue, and burnt sienna. And depending on how much of each you put in, you can lean it toward the blue or lean it toward the red or toward the orange brown. It's a great color combination. When you do a little controlled wash like I'm doing here, it can spread and burst and give you this, illusion of these distant tree lines. I love using it. I love what it does. And when you use certain paints, sometimes the pigments separate. It's just cool. This is what watercolor does that is so exciting. You can use the properties of the paint and the water to do some of the work in getting some of these effects. So that can be the frustrating and exciting thing about the watercolor. So there I am taking notes, what I used, and that famous color combo. I need to stop leaning on it, but I'll figure that out later. There's the road. For the road, I actually used black. I've added black to my palette. I didn't have it on my palette for a long time, and I recently added it. I typically I don't use black unmixed. I will mix it with something. You can see I mixed it with green and blue. And the colors for the barns, I used a pyroli red, alizarin crimson, a little bit of green to gray it down, a little bit of blue to really darken it. So these are all things that you really do want to take notes of, especially if you're just beginning your painting journey, because that's Tucker with a squeaky toy. Tucker's my new little Labrador Retriever puppy, who's been a great addition. Anyway, I did notice that I relocated the tree probably a little too much, and it interferes with the street sign, so I'm going to have to resolve that. The other thing I'm going to have to practice before I begin the final painting is I need to figure out how to do those two big trees on the right hand side. The sketch is fine, but when I come to painting trees like that, I feel that they aren't very successful. So I will do some little studies of that tree, of those trees, to try to figure out how to make them look successful. Here I'm laying in some of the shadows. I'm still not 100% sure about the shadow colors. I need to do some reading on that. And there's the value sketch with the color study. Thanks so much for watching.